going to obviously speak to you about bullying today. I'll go over the roles. Bullying is something that really lays on my heart. I'm never clear why. Usually they say something has happened to you to trigger that, but I can tell you I was maybe teased, not bullied. And I have asked people to make sure I was not a bully. I was not. But those stories just lay on my heart in a way I cannot believe. Even if they're not the violent ones we hear about on the news. The one that I think of today happened about 2 years ago in a middle school to a boy. I'm going to call him Tommy. That's not his name. But Tommy had some issues. I don't know if they were behavioral issues or if he had some sort of diagnosed issue. And he was also a little bit overweight. So we know he's probably going to have an uphill battle when he's in middle school. So he, luckily, was placed in a classroom with one of the most popular teachers of the school, very engaging with his students. And the teacher one day asked a question, and Tommy was willing to answer, so he raises his hand. The teacher says, Tommy, I really can't see you. Did you want to answer this question? Raise it higher. And so he does. And he keeps pushing him to raise his hand higher and higher until finally it shows. His fat is showing, and that's what the teacher says. Tommy, your fat is showing. Put your hand down. I cannot imagine this happening. And I'm glad your reactions are the same as mine. I guess it's just my humanity showing. But those are the roles that we are typically used to seeing, is the role of the bully and the role of the victim. And if you cannot tell from that bullies do not come in any particular shape and size, they can be anybody. The role of a bully, typically we think of the boys will generally be physically active and pummeling their victim. A girl will typically do it in a relational basis, so they will try to sabotage your relationships. As you can see, we've reached some gender equality in our society, and those roles are changing. It's fair game. The role of a victim, we can look at the statistics. The victim suffers for life. These are not things that we just put behind us. Sticks and stones can break your bones, and words can surely hurt you. We have learned this. What I don't understand is what we haven't learned. We've come so far and seen so much and studied so much, and yet we still see this. Why? And this is what happens. We see on the news, we see these horrible stories, and there's one more role that we should be looking at with that, and that is the role of the bystander. The person that is taping this, the person that we see on the surveillance camera that is walking by as somebody is viciously beaten, and they don't even make a motion. They just keep walking. I don't understand. And we watch this, we see on the internet, we see it on the news, we see it everywhere, and we go home and we say to ourselves, how can this happen? How can this be? And I say to you, how dare we ask that question? We are the generation that took us here. We are the ones with the responsibility to show these people that come behind us how to be, how to act. And what we are showing them is news program after news program and book after book and action after action that says, get and grab everything that you can, no matter what. And if you make the money, and if you get the house, and if you win this game, it's okay. It means that you are okay. And I say to you, I don't think so. Or we wouldn't ask ourselves, how can this be? We sign our kids up for some of these sports programs. Have you ever seen this coach? A grown man is coaching a 12 or 13-year-old girl, and he is towering over these people and yelling and screaming at them. And this may be the first real relationship that this girl has with a grown man outside of her family. What do you think she's going to learn? That I have to put up with this, that I have to be the victim, or that I need to be that perpetrator. I need to tower over somebody and be in their face so that your spittle is getting in her face. Yes, that game, that moment is more important than anything else that I could teach you in this life. We cannot ask this question. We need, as a generation, to step up and take the responsibility to take action. Otherwise, we end up with stories, like I told you in the beginning, of Tommy. And unfortunately, that incident was not an isolated incident. That teacher continued to mock him in front of the class. It shouldn't surprise us what happens in the lunchroom then. Tommy didn't know where to sit. Where did he belong? He didn't belong with the nerds. He didn't belong with the jocks, the music kids, nothing. He didn't fit in. And that was the one table that he could fit in at, was the rest of the kids that also didn't have a place. But even they took their cues and made sure to send a signal. You can sit at our table, but way at the end, and there's space between, and they called him it. They wouldn't even refer to him as he or his name, it. But there was one girl, and this girl, she was average height, but she was this wisp of a girl that looked like wind could just blow her right over if it came along. And her mother told her on a very regular basis that everybody has feelings and everybody deserves to be treated with respect. Thank goodness her dad was a little more practical about the matter and said every day he sent her off to school said, remember, it's nice to be nice. Say something nice to someone today. And sometimes she would greet Tommy. One day she came in and said hello to Tommy, and the rest of the table said, don't talk to it. Don't talk to it. Well, Tommy knew what to do then. He would just put his head down and wait at the lunch table for it to blow over. This day he heard a sound. It's a very loud sound. As this girl just smacked her hands on the table, and she stood up, or actually sat up, ramrod straight. It was as if she grew right in front of her friend's eyes, and she said, do not tell me who I can and cannot talk to. I decide that. And the person that I choose today is Tommy. Tommy, come on, let's go find a better place to eat our lunch. You see, there is hope. We can teach this, and that is what I ask you today. Who do you picture today that you can influence? Who will you choose today?